I'm not surprised we're on notice.
There's a certain dress code.
Not surprisingly too when you meet British-born Muslim Andrew Chowdhury. For those who choose not to wear any covering, does that make them a bad Muslim?
No, well, that will make you obviously sinful for not abiding by the Sharia.
So if you don't wear the burqa or a head covering of some sort, you are sinning and you are a bad Muslim.
And that is something that they would be accountable for.
Brother, I just had a couple of questions.
Chowdhury preaches a strict interpretation of Islam, and his ambition is for Britain to become an Islamic state. What would happen to a woman under Sharia law if she had an affair outside her marriage?
If a man or a woman had an affair outside of their marriage and there were sufficient witnesses for either or both of them, they would be stoned to death.
Do you believe you're a superior being?
A Muslim will always be superior to a non-Muslim, absolutely, in the eyes of God.
You are a better person than me.
In the eyes of God, that would certainly be the case, yes. My dear Muslims, we live in the time of fitna.
At 43, Andrew Chowdhury spends much of his time conducting his version of a Sharia court and preaching to young Muslim men his views on anything from women to Americans and their pets.
You can see, my dear Muslims, that in America, in at least 28 states, you can even get married to an animal. Bestiality is halal, as long as you have a relationship in your own home. This is the downfall of Western civilization.
You told a recent court that in 28 states in America, you can get married to an animal.
Bestiality. I mean, I did my research. That is true.
That is an absolute lie.
Find out. Research yourself.
You cannot marry an animal.
You can. It's true. It's true.
That
bestiality is completely legal in America.
That
it's
is
true.
a lie.
It is
How
true.
can you tell
Do your
lies
research.
at your
You will see. You will see. That is the fruit of Western civilization. You cannot tolerate it.
You tell young, impressionable people lies.
No, the reality is very difficult to swallow sometimes. In Britain, for example,
no, it's hard
two
for you
people.
to
Let me
swallow.
tell you that.
Such extremist nonsense is only feeding the worldwide anti-Muslim backlash and opening the way for politicians like Fred Nile to pursue a burqa ban. And you see it as an unwanted symbol of Islam?
Certainly, and an un-Australian symbol. It's not part of our culture, and I don't want it in our nation.
Reverend Nile, as a Christian, aren't you being un-Christian?
No, I'm being a Christian.
Aren't you being quite discriminatory?
No, I want to. Those women are the ones who have been discriminated against. In fact,
aren't you being quite intolerant?
No, I think it's actually a form of domestic violence, where the husband or the rulers of the mosque are trying to enforce these rules on Muslim women.
Aren't you being divisive?
No. Wearing the burqa is what's divisive. That's the whole point I'm making. That's what's dividing our society.
Is it the case that you just don't like Islam?
Well, I'm certainly concerned about Islam. I certainly don't want to see Islam in any position of authority in Australia.
It's not nice. It's really a big slap in the face. Like, it's disappointing, and it does affect the way you see Australia. I have to admit that.
At 24, Hiba Ayash can't believe that the only home she's ever known, Australia, is treating her like an alien.
I'm Australian, yeah. I'm born and bred here. I'm a typical Aussie. I love my barbecues, my beach, family gatherings. Like, the only difference between an Australian gathering and a Lebanese gathering is we just have more food.
If you had the opportunity to talk to a politician who wanted to ban the burqa or the headscarf, what would you say?
Well, my vote counts. So to those politicians out there, you want my vote, then you have to earn it. Yeah, give me a hug.
This young mum is the face of a Muslim community that rejects fundamentalism, but demands the kind of fair go that Australia has always prided itself on.
I go to Anzac Day memorials, and people look at me going, "What the hell is she doing here?" But no, I'm, tribute to my soldiers. I do all that, and don't take it away from me. I'm an Australian more than anyone else here. If you're going to judge me by my hijab, then